my name is Sammy, and welcome to my Stream Theory playthrough of Assassin's Creed 4, where I will play the game live and also commentate, provide analysis at the same time. So, we left off a while ago. We're still, like, in between main story points, and we're delving into a lot of side quests, exploration. So let's see what we want to do next. Where am I exactly? There's some assassin contracts I probably want to get done here. I think I mostly want to get Havana all, done and completed before I set sail again off to in the direction of my next mission, which, considering the rate of my exploration, seems to be fairly far away. I'm not even sure if it can be done this episode, just because of how full exploration. Alright, stream looks pretty good. Can continue forward. Now, today will probably be a short stream. I'm gonna go as long as I can. However, I might need to end soonish. Hopefully, I can get something done today. I considered not doing my next part today just because it would have been so short. However, I think in general, I would rather do something. I would rather get something done rather than have no part at all, have no progress made at all. Even if it's a little bit, I think that's preferable to nothing. So I'm gonna try to do as much as I can with whatever time I have. Usually if these things are up in the air, I just have to. I mean, normally, yeah, when I stream, I like try to allot around 2 hours or so, and sometimes it ends up being. I end up running late, and I have to shorten that all. Alright, let's get some side missions done. Do some collecting along the way. We'll start with an assassin contract. So, I think most of this stuff seems to be standard fare. In Assassin's Creed games, there are a lot of things to do in between main missions if you so choose to, pursue that stuff. Of course, you can just go straight for the main missions at the same time. So let's see. Okay, this contract is a Templar associate is said to be visiting Havana. Conclude a trade deal of immense importance to their order. Find him and put a stop to his schemes. So, right. Okay. I'm fairly decent at doing these assassin contracts. Okay, not that far away. But at the same time, I think there is a little bit more downtime than the average Assassin's Creed game, just because if you consider the nature of the overworld, it is much wider and emptier, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it just comes with the territory of the sailing, right? So because of the sailing, there are going to be islands, and there's going to be a lot of open seas in between those islands. In order to make a realistic sailing experience, those open seas have to be wide, and it's not like it would seem especially silly if just all the relevant places were so close together. We just had if the Caribbean was just like this tiny, cramped, dense place, and it took like just 5 seconds to go between islands, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense. So, in an effort to preserve some realism, I think it is a wise choice to have these very wide open seas. But the downside of that, of the realism there, of the sort of accurate or near accurate depiction of the Caribbean. I think actual Caribbean in terms of scale is much, even larger. It would take days, if not weeks, to travel between certain areas. But here, there has to be some downtime. There has to be some realistic travel time. So that it doesn't seem like you're just hopping between islands. So I think that's the main reason why it's taking so long to do this sort of style of gameplay that I like, which is, explore in the direction of the next main mission. So we started here, and we're exploring in the direction of the next main mission. So we're going to make pit stops at all of these locations along the way. But at the same time, sailing between these things does take time because of how far away they are, because of the scale of the world. So there's going to be a lot of downtime. More downtime than is typical of an Assassin's Creed game. Normally, there are spaces in between relevant locations in Assassin's Creed game because they didn't have a sort of a sea-based open world, an overworld based in water. We weren't subject to these really large travel times before. Alright, well, I tried to switch to my my fists there, but I guess it takes some time to do. Alright, this is not what I want to be doing. I want to be getting sidetracked here. I want to be doing the next actual mission. Oh, we have a curious guy. There we go. Knock him out, pull him in. Okay. So, as I was saying, the game does have a lot more downtime, I've noticed, and this was like, I think this is the same of basically any game that uses an overworld that is largely incorporates sailing through water, especially an old-fashioned type of sailing using actual sails and no motorboats of any kind. So, I mean, we saw this in games like Wind Waker, where you had to deal with the open water, and you had to deal with the travel times. Okay. Apparently, that attack was like so close to the assassin target that it actually impacted the mission. I have to like leave and return, I suppose. That was really dumb. Like, alright, I'll leave, and target should come back as soon as I leave the area. I'll do a bit more exploring. That was a complete, like, total accident on multiple counts. One was that I just brushed up against the guard who then decided to attack me. Wasn't trying to pick a fight. But also that it happened, like, within the confines of my mission. That was kind of unfortunate. So Some of Kenway's movements over here are a little strange. I found. I don't know why I decided to like jump towards the camera there when I was like trying to go forward. Kind of a confusing, using a confusing choice. Okay, has the target come back yet, or do I have to actually... Yeah, I don't know how this works. If I mess up an assassination mission, do I have to like... Alright, let's just go to another one. Probably like a hidden timer-based thing where after a certain period of time, the assassin contract will come back out of hiding. The actual person I'm assassinating will be at ease and he will return to that spot. One reason I also want to finish up this city segment is that these cityscapes are a lot harder to render for my PC than the other environments, so it's actually a bit of a challenge. Or as far as my hardware goes, to stream at the same time, my frame rate takes a big hit. Now, I actually don't see that frame rate. My frame rate's pretty good, but the end result on the stream looks kind of choppy. So that's just because of the nature of my hardware not being, you know, good enough to handle that multitasking. I already, you know, discussed in the earlier parts, me trying to struggle with finding the settings that provided an acceptable level of streaming. It was way worse before, but you know, this is like the best I can do. So, some murderous criminals have escaped from the fort and are hoping to flee from Havana. The first opportunity, find and kill them. And I'm hoping that doing another sort of mission. In the meantime, I can wait for the target to return after a while. Previous assassin contract. Okay, so I'm in the zone here. Aha. That was kind of easy. I just need to escape. Okay. That kind of doesn't make sense because, like, how did these guys know that I was going to be heading that way? Those lines of defense are a little strange to me. Actually, because it's far enough away from the actual things, the actual disturbance that I caused, to the point where it doesn't exactly make a whole lot of sense that they would be prepared for the roadblock. Next. Yeah, I guess I just have to wait for that next assassin contract to be available to return. Actually, I want to... There's still some viewpoints that I haven't synced yet. Here and up here. Pick up some of these knickknacks along the way. So the whole exploration has a... Okay, so sort of social chess thing. Not sure what that means, but oh, here it is. Okay, I'm not sure what that means, but figure that out as we go. Anyway, the exploration. Continue to talk about that because that's like it's an important topic as far as my actual progress. It is making an impact on my progress. I already discussed that. Yeah, the travel time itself is impacting my ability to really reach the next. How do I get this thing? Not that way. Impacting my ability to really go from mission to mission, or even go from location to location. It's not necessarily. How the heck do you get under? Where do you have to jump off from? Okay. This? Okay, yeah, I guess. Then, like, once you get to a location, then, of course, if you're a completionist, like I am, I'm a completionist within reason. Like, if there are just a ridiculous amount of things, or if something just takes an unrealistic amount of time to accomplish, then I won't do it. But for the most part, if it's reasonable to do or collect, I will try and get all of the various knickknacks and collectibles in the game in an open world game like this. So all that is taking a lot of time between missions, but you know, that's fine. From my perspective, that is a realistic way of how people play open world games. I mean, some people can play an open world game you know, just going totally side quest oriented and barely progressing the main missions. It's a nice view. And yeah, that is a perfectly valid way to play the game. There is that. Me, I do like following a game's story. I think that is important to me. I also like being able to pursue it at my own pace and exploring to augment a story, to augment the game's narrative. I'll pursue that stuff whenever I feel is necessary. That in mind, yeah, it's gonna take me a while to actually get to the next actual main mission, you know, critical path moment in the narrative here. I think as far as an accurate depiction of what a playthrough of Assassin's Creed 4 can look like with a lot of exploration, this is essentially what it's going to look like. If I wasn't streaming, I would have no qualms about spending hours and hours just exploring and having a lot of time in between actual story moments, but only because I'm streaming. That's when I'm starting to second guess and be like, well, I should probably get to the next, you know, important moment. Alright, let's see if I can actually get some guys to sleep. I should be more aware of this procedure of get the lookouts first. Two guys down there. So I'm thinking it might be a case of, as far as the assassin contract goes, I might have to actually... I'm wondering what the criteria is of actually getting that to come back. Do I have to, like, leave the area? That might be the case, so I have to leave Havana and return in order to complete it. So, in that case, I'll probably do it last. And it isn't terrible. Once I do everything else, I'll come back to that. So I'll leave the area, if it comes back, then it comes back. Okay, next. Up there, okay. No, it's not. I have to think about it. Like, it's not necessarily a bad thing to not have every single, or yeah, to not have every single moment of the game full of like on-point analysis. So, you know, sometimes there are going to be downtimes in the game, and you know, it follows that there are going to be downtimes in my actual discussion of the game. That is not what I wanted to happen. All I wanted was him to stand on the actual sync point. I think I've played enough of this to kind of to see that some of the platforming a little wonky, I would say. Not the most accurate game as far as the platforming. And by platforming, I just mean the way my character moves, like sometimes literally on platforms, and that's why it's called platforming. Also, just how he traverses the environments, how he makes those jumps. And like as far as the feel of that, I feel like there have been previous Assassin's Creed games that have been more accurate. Like the character goes where I want him to go. We saw an example there where I was trying to get on that platform, and instead he dove off. And I guess that points to a sort of a mismatch of what the game thinks I'm trying to do and what I'm actually trying to do. And you'd think that with this 7th entry in the series that they would have things like the platforming, the parkour, way your character moves and controls, down pat. Like, that would be the thing that they have perfect. They don't have to. There's no reason to mess it up anymore. But as far as I've known from like when developers speak about development, game development, what happens is they're constantly iterating on not just adding new features to the game, but features that are already in the game. So when you're talking about character movement and animation, even in the 7th entry in the series, they still do a lot of work in that regard. They still have to create a lot of stuff from scratch. So it would follow that some of that stuff would perhaps not work out. Okay, so I guess this is a fort area, right? Not sure. So that's my guess, I suppose. I can't really say that for sure. It's my theory as to why, even with a 7th entry in the series, oh man. Even with the 7th entry in the series, they can still get some things imperfect, which you think would... which you think they would have mastered. So it's like, with every entry in the series, they do have to redo a lot of things. It's not like, I guess what I'm trying to say is they can't just simply copy and paste a lot of stuff. Because we're dealing with a new character, because we're dealing with a new game, with new code and new types of environments, there are going to be elements of that that just don't carry over perfectly and just need a lot of work to be done. Okay, why isn't he jumping? Alright, so I'm not sure what this area is all about, so I'm gonna first do a sync point and see. Okay, here it is. And see what this is all about. Okay, so it's on here. I'm not sure if this is a fort, really. I guess it's just... if it was marked as a fort, then it would be different, I guess. This is just a restricted area. Okay, so there's a manuscript that I want to try and get. Don't want... okay, I don't want to synchronize again. That's not what I wanted to do. I just want to drop down. Okay, so try and drop down from... aha, there's the assassin contract now. Now the guy's back. So I guess it is a timer. Of course, I just have to wait for the guy to return. Really unfortunate that that happened. Okay, so this manuscript is on the inside. Okay, I'm thinking that the best way to get there is from the window I saw on the way up here. Trying to get there from near the sync point. Not a good idea. I don't have a lot of...
Alto!
don't have a lot of sleep darts yet, or left, but I can Yeah, I think I could spare. Okay. Yeah, I got some sleep darts back. That's good. Get this manuscript and get the heck out of here. Okay, what's left? What is left? Chest over here. Although I definitely like the game, that's for sure. Just add the sort of platforming weirdness, wonkiness to one of my minor gripes of the game. I mean, even games I like, I'm gonna have my minor gripes. I mean, Dark Souls, which I consider like a masterpiece, one of the greatest games of the generation, if not all time. Like, still going to have.
Keep them busy.
Still had my gripes with it, right? There were definitely things that could have been better about that. So, same thing with Assassin's Creed here. Game that I definitely like, and a game that's been critically lauded. However, it's not going to be without its flaws. I think that the platforming, the parkour is just adequate. It's not it's not as accurate as I would like. Like especially with the 7th game in the series, I would expect it to be a lot better. I feel like there are a lot of times where I am messing up for no good reason. So let's try this over again. How do I want to do this? This is way farther away than I thought. Okay. So I'm gonna approach it from the water, I think. There he is. Alright, so I'm not gonna get my bonus, fortunately, but assassin contract is done. Get the heck out of here, don't need to do any more combat. So, what is left here? I want to some odds and ends. Warehouse. Guess that's the closest. I'll head there. Very close to finishing Havana, and then I can move on. I wonder how many people are actually concerned about all these side quests and collectibles, as I am. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of completionists out there, but for the most part I would think that people just blaze through the main missions and then opportunistically explore side quests, collectibles, if they're on the way. They just happen to be conveniently on the path. that might be the general deal here. So as I finish up Havana here, complete this portion of the map. I don't think there's anything wrong with just chilling, not necessarily delving too much into discussion if I don't have to. Like, there's no reason to force discussion. If I think of something to say, I'll say it. Okay, a lot of guards here. Man, he's not moving. Not moving. Okay, that's... Guys, the key to the warehouse, okay. Oh, I have to become anonymous, okay. Alright, not exactly the most stealthy way to approach this, but... These guys I can only disarm first. Alright, well I guess I'm going to have some more... some more aggressive approaches and over the course of my game. It's not going to be perfect. There are going to be times where I'm going to need to get my hands dirty. I think that's fine. Good practice for combat. Next time I will go for a more nuanced stealth approach. Okay, so I wonder why that's not, like... Warehouse empty. I did get some stuff out of it, but... These things, like, periodically... I wonder if they periodically fill up. I'm not sure exactly how the warehouses work. Yeah, I guess that's how it is. I'm not sure. Okay, well, let's head over to the next viewpoint here. Seems as far as the progress for the completing an area, warehouses are not included in that. I guess they're just ways to get more resources, I suppose. Seems to me like the resources you get out of them aren't entirely lucrative, because you can already get the same stuff just from the naval combat, which is a much more enjoyable experience in general. I mean, that is the thing, that is the star of this game, the whole naval combat. So, if I want to get resources, then I would probably do it that way, because that is the de facto most enjoyable thing to do in this game. Like, why would I do it another way? Why would I do it using the warehouses? That's like an option to go for the more traditional Assassin's Creed style of gameplay, rather than doing it via the new stuff, the sea stuff. I guess there's something to say about that, but again, as far as like things that are totally optional and not even part of a collectible of any sort, I think I'd rather probably not do the warehouses, because they're not even a part of completion of a given area. Okay, there's a chest. Oh, gotta get off of here before I do any sort of button pressing, or else I'll synchronize again. There we go. That's what I wanted. That's... yeah. And this chest right over here. Well, there's a dude, like, right here. Alright, let's just leave, I guess. Okay, very close to finishing this area. Manuscript over here. Whoa, 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 that's not what I wanted. That's another example of all the stuff here. Another example of parkour being a little wonky. All I want to do is run. I don't want to climb up on anything. Yet he like automatically just goes straight for the climbing. A little gung-ho about this, so take a fight. Have him fight the guards so I can get through. Unnoticed. Okay, so close. There's a shanty over here. Get the chest first, because that is stationary thing. Shanty is a non-stationary thing. Mobile, collectible. And I think after that it'll be all done. I can get back to the high seas. Okay, there's the shanty. You may go, dude. You may run. Another weird, more parkour wonkiness, where it just like doesn't make any sense that he's not moving. Habana, 100% complete. That is nice to see. Okay, well, in that case, let's get back to my ship here. A nice, beautiful environment, but I am quite ready to move on to different environments. Let's explore and discover something new. Yeah, as far as a city-based thing, as far as like a traditional type of area that you normally see in Assassin's Creed games, city stuff is relegated to a much smaller role in this game than we've seen before. I mean, just the size of the city is like... In the beginning of the game, I didn't know just how big the area of the city is, or was. Like, I thought this would be much, much bigger. But now I can see the extent of the area. I think I discussed this before, very early on, but trying to find the edges of the game, right? Try to find the limitations of what you can do and what you can explore. And in the beginning, everything just seems so big and like, okay, we're not only exploring oceans, or we're not exploring multiple islands, but there are also giant cities in here. It's like, well, now I can see the extent of the extent of the locations here, and they're not quite as big as what I imagined it would be. And a lot of what I'm thinking of, where I'm gathering my image of the game, is based on previous Assassin's Creed games. Because of the different focus of this game, it makes sense. It follows that the cities would be smaller and would play a smaller role in the overall gameplay. And the more impressive world, the more impressive feat of this game is just how big the overworld with the seas and the sailing is. That is still an impressive feat, and that is like so huge, and it'll take me hours upon hours to explore. So, given that, it's totally fine that the actual city locations are much smaller. That is not what this game is all about. They're there as like as locations to visit in between the sailing. We can't. They're there as a. They're there because the Assassin's Creed has been built on these cityscapes, and it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense to just throw that away. The original system, the original engine of the game was meant to render these cities. Like, why waste that tool? There are going to be some cities, be sure. All right, I have money now. Have metal. Let's see, chase cannons. 4 front chase cannons that allow large fire and stun power. Okay. or front chase cannons. So, like, as far as the chase cannons, how... If they're on the bow, how will they... How will I be able to use the chain shot? Or is it like the thing... Is it like the same thing with the heavy shot versus the regular round shot? Is what one of them... The round shot is when I aim, the heavy shot is when I don't aim. Could be that the chain shot is when I aim, and the chase cannons are when I don't aim. I guess so. I'm not sure. Let's go with... See, heavy shots are really powerful. I don't know. All this stuff is really good. All of this stuff. This doesn't require metal. Mortars. Alright, I think the mortars are pretty powerful, and I would like them to... From the fact that I can aim them much more accurately than anything else, so... I think the mortars for me are more important. Okay, these require some prerequisites, okay. This one I don't need any other resources, I'll go ahead and get that. Heavy shot's pretty darn good. Right, a lot of these other things need metal. Okay, I think that's good enough as far as upgrades on the ship. Now, things I need to get from shops are my actual weapons for my character, because I can't get those at any time. So I'll look for a... Yeah, one of these. Should have enough money to buy a few things. Okay, so... I wonder if these outfits actually do anything. Altair robes. Oh, I can just equip this. I already have it. Ezio robes. Honors outfit. Okay. I think that's because I played those games previously, or I own them. Pieces of art. I'm pretty sure there are things that I could just sell straight up. I think the rum is it either the rum or sugar or rum and cloth. Yeah, rum. I'm pretty sure has no actual upgrade use, so I should just sell these. I think it would tell me if there was. Yeah, it told me before. Yeah, this cargo is required to update the jackdaw. So in that case, I will anything that aids in upgrading, I will keep. The other stuff I can sell freely. All right, let's look at some swords. Okay. Good all-arounder. Better, slightly better than what I have. I can actually afford some really good stuff right now. I guess this is the best weapon I can buy right now. and I can totally afford it, so why not? This is what happens when you rarely visit the shops. You just come with a buttload of money, and then you just buy the best weapon, and then like all these other weapons are basically there's barely any points to them. Although I guess like if I want to go for straight up damage, the pirate scimitars will work a lot better. But if I want a good all-arounder, and this one's fastest and a good all-around stats with good speed. Yeah, I guess there's even if I buy this one, I can make a choice. Let me try this one for straight up damage. Yeah, it seems to be the most damaging sword. Let me give that a shot. Use this one for now. And then I'll try these other ones later on. Pistols. I have enough money for pistols. Get something with better range than what I have already. Yeah, these are good damage, but alright, so this one seems to be better. Yeah, I don't think there's any reason not to get the cannon barrel pistols. Better range, better stun, same amount of damage though. There's no other weapon with better damage. Yep, going with that one. Alright, keeping up pace with my upgrades here. Alright, now I think I'm ready to move on. Alright. Let me make a check-in with my fleet here and see if I can actually do anything new. How do I actually get these resources? I need to look that up. Seems like I have no resources to start these missions. For the next part, I will do research into that. Where are my resources? Or how do I get them in order to actually progress my fleet missions, that fleet minigame rather. Be more accurate. Okay. Move on, and let's get to the next part, next area to explore. What is this area? Florida. Oh wow, we can actually get to an island of Florida. It's a little silly for, like, I can probably just get there in a few minutes, but in real life, realistically, this would take at least several hours or a day in the time of, the early 1800s? No, the early 1700s, or take at least a day to travel this distance, possibly more than that. It seems a little silly that, like, when we can think of, okay, this is Florida and this is Cuba, that the actual scale is that small. But it's big enough to make the travel time in the game not insignificant. It's as a topic we could discuss that there are areas in the game where you want to be realistic within reason. Like, you don't want things to be truly realistic because, like, if we were to scale with the actual world, then it would take a really long time to travel in between these islands, and that's just no fun. So instead of depicting that realistically, we make a map that's more representational. Like, we assume that in as far as Kenway's life, that he is taking the actual amount of time, but we're editing that out. We're editing the moments of downtime out, or we're reducing them. Alright, let's see what we got here. Sugar. A lot of random stuff that I don't need. We can see the avoidance or unnecessary reasons, or reasons to not depict things totally realistically in terms of not just scale of the world or overworld, but other things like AI. If they were truly smart, we're at the point where we can make AI truly smart and difficult, and as smart as a, well, maybe not as smart as a human being, but we can depict them in a simulation that is smart enough to give you a challenge. But I think there is a reason not to do that, and that's just because it would be too difficult and not that fun. I see that all the time, is that we don't want, from developers I hear in interviews talking about AI, and then they can make it totally realistic. They can make it to the point where the AI can reason and logically determine certain things about where you are. Say if you're trying to stealth, they can be smarter about trying to find you. We can make it so that they're searching more reasonably, and that they won't give up so easily. All that stuff. We've seen many points in this game where if you alert an AI and they start to investigate what they saw, they'll do a little search pattern, but then they'll give up really easily. That's a point in which the AI is deliberately held back. If the developers were trying to be more realistic with the AI, the AI would be way more determined. These guards here would be way more determined to find you. You wouldn't give up so easily. So, I guess in a point, like, we want to achieve realism in a game insofar as it makes sense, insofar as it is reasonable, and that it is conducive to an enjoyable experience. But an enjoyable experience also means that we're going to deliberately hold back AI, to allow us to be stealthy, and they won't be endlessly pursuing you. Because once a person knows that an intruder is out there, they won't just give up eventually, but AI in games will. And I think that is done on purpose. Alright, warehouse full. I guess that's all there is to this area. Let me go to this viewpoint first to see if there's anything more. I think largely not much else going on here. There might be. Gotta watch out for that lookout there. Another one. Yay, I successfully sabotaged. Yay. Alright, I should... Oh no, another lookout. Man, okay. Tougher than I thought. See, if the AI, if they're going for totally realistic AI, that guard would be way more inquisitive about what just happened to him. He wouldn't just go back to his normal pattern. And it's not because of a limitation of the AI or a limitation of the game systems. They deliberately hold that back so that you can continue playing, and it won't be so restrictive. I think I'm gonna have to deal with that guy. I have to continue on here. Whoa, come on, I was trying to... Really? Alright, I guess that's fine. I didn't alert everybody. Alright, there are a few things to collect here besides just the warehouse. Those glyphs. Alright, what's on the map? Okay, glyph. Actually, I have a gator here, a crocodile. Okay, crocodile. So they are crocodiles. In the Caribbean. Okay, that's interesting. I know in Florida... I know in Florida they have alligators. I guess crocodiles are inhabitants of the Caribbean. Particularly, I guess this is Cuba. I should look that up to see if that's accurate. I shouldn't just believe a game. Okay, go for this glyph. I might have to actually take out more guards then. Oh wow, another gator. Let me try to be as stealthy as possible. Take out these lookouts first. See how long I can keep this up, if it's even possible. I guess just to prove to myself that I'm good enough to do it, I suppose. Okay, got that. Head in this direction first. Suppose that's one way to do it. I know I need 2 crocodiles for an upgrade, so that would be the second one. I don't think I need to pick out too many of these. Alright, there's the key holder. Found him. I want to be slow and methodical. I think I eventually have to take out some of these dudes. The more people I leave up and aware, difficult it will be just to get away with stuff. Alright, looks like the best way to do this is to... There's a haystack over there. Alright, well, there are a lot of factors I have to keep in mind. Those guards up top can be difficult.
¡Por el intruso!
Also get the dude from over here in this corner. Yeah, that's one way to do it. Not bad, not bad.
¡Alto ahí! ¡Tú, vuelve aquí ya! Me rindo. No veo nada.
Don't know what that guy was all about. Okay, so there is... I need to get this guy. Maybe... At least the one at the very top probably should get. That's one thing I have not been doing the whole game so far, is trying to find these buried treasure chests from these maps. I have a whole ton of them. Eventually, one of these episodes I'm going to have to... Actually, this is not one of the maps. This is another one of those documents, but I guess that's a good reminder of trying to get those. I'm trying to get those too. Can't forget about those. And maybe one episode I'm just gonna go straight for the buried treasure. Make a whole, like, dedicate a significant portion of one episode, one part of my playthrough for doing seeking that buried treasure. Might as well deal with this guy now. I'll have to come back later. I see what they're trying to do here. Guards to make that getting this treasure chest here a little bit more complicated. Up the cliff, I mine Stella, I'll go for that. Alright, yeah, not much to... What else I need to discuss this game, or at least not yet. Now I'll just, as I said before, I'll continue doing this. I want to reiterate that. I won't always be... talking, commentating 100% of the time. Sometimes, you know, discussed enough and wait for the next relevant thing to really bring up.
Good. Another keystone.
Alright, so I guess the warehouses are not like a real part of completing the game. They're just ways to get resources. No, yeah, just another way to get resources. Just like taking down ships, like that. Yeah, while I'm here, I might as well go after the warehouse before I leave. No reason not to, I suppose. Nice, nice. Oh, bonus reward. No bells rang. Not bad. Okay. And so that's why it doesn't count as being complete. Because they are like recurring things you can loot. Alright, I think with that being finished, I will head back to the ship here, and I think we'll call it end to the stream. On the way back, I'll say, if you tuned in, thank you very much for watching, and if you'd like to watch archives of my streams of this playthrough, or any of the other playthroughs of games I played before, you can go to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Yamstersam, and you can also follow me on Twitter at Yamstersam. So again, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time, where hopefully we can actually get to a main mission. Getting closer and closer. Yeah. But you know, I still enjoy this exploration, and I hope you do too. So see you then.